The summer of 2018 was supposed to be a carefree adventure for Michael and his best friend Jake. At 17, they craved something wild, so they set out from their hometown to a secluded bay near Haven's End, a place they'd found online. The photos promised white sand, crystal waters, and eerie solitude, an untouched paradise. They took a train to the nearest town, then a rickety bus that dropped them a mile from the shore. The walk through overgrown paths felt like stepping into another world where the air grew heavy and the sunlight flickered unnaturally. The bay was breathtaking, its waters glowing under a too-perfect sky. They swam, laughed, and soaked in the quiet, noticing only a handful of other visitors, who seemed to vanish as the day wore on. Toward noon, they climbed a jagged cliff to a clearing with a view that stole their breath. As they ate sandwiches, Michael spotted a dirt path snaking into the woods. Jake, with his reckless grin, suggested they explore. Against a nagging unease, Michael agreed. The path led them deeper into a forest where the light dimmed and the air grew thick with the scent of salt and decay. Then they heard it, music, faint but growing louder, a haunting melody that didn't belong in the wilderness. The path opened to a hidden glade where a dozen people stood in elegant attire, sipping drinks and swaying to a live band. It was a private party, surreal in its perfection, like a scene from a dream that wasn't quite right. A man in a straw hat and sunglasses approached, his smile too wide. "Lost boys?" he asked in a clicked British accent. Michael stammered that they were just exploring, and the man laughed, inviting them to join. The guests were charming, the food exquisite, but something felt off. Their laughter was too sharp, their eyes too watchful. Michael noticed a man in a suit slip away toward a dilapidated cabin, clutching a leather briefcase. Curiosity burned, and he excused himself, following silently. The cabin's door creaked as the man entered. Michael waited, heart pounding, then crept closer. Muffled voices leaked through the walls, speaking in a language he couldn't place. When the man left without the briefcase, Michael slipped inside. The cabin was bare except for a table, where the open briefcase revealed stacks of cash, a gleaming pistol, and plastic bags filled with white powder. His stomach churned. Then he saw it, a medallion, half buried among the cash, its spiraling symbol glinting like an eye. A shadow fell across the room. The man in the straw hat stood in the doorway, his smile gone. "You shouldn't have seen this, kid," he said, his voice cold as the sea. Michael's mind raced. He grabbed the briefcase, hurling it at the man, and bolted. The man lunged, grabbing his arm, but Michael broke free, sprinting through the glade. He found Jake at the buffet, oblivious, and screamed, "We have to go." They ran, the music twisting into a discordant wail behind them, until they reached the bay and swam to the main shore. Panting on the beach, Michael told Jake everything. They never spoke of it again, but Michael couldn't shake the image of the medallion or the feeling that the shadow of Haven had marked them. The bay, they later learned, was a place locals avoided, whispering of deals made under the entity's gaze. That same summer, Emily took a job at a beachfront bar in Haven's End to make extra cash. The bar was a lively spot, filled with families and tourists, but her coworker, Daniel, cast a shadow over the sunny days. His dark hair framed a face that never smiled, and his eyes seemed to pierce through her. From day one, Emily felt a chill around him, dismissing it as nerves. But Daniel was off. He was meticulous, arranging bottles with eerie precision, measuring gaps with a folding ruler he kept in his apron. Once, he caught a customer leaving a glass out of place and snapped, his face twisting with rage before softening into a forced smile. At night, as they closed, Emily noticed him muttering to himself, words like order and control slipping out like a mantra. One evening, she found a medallion on the counter, its spiral symbol catching the moonlight. Daniel snatched it away, his fingers trembling. He rarely spoke of himself, but when he did, his stories were chilling. He described a car accident with detached detail, the crunch of metal, the smell of blood, like he was reliving it. Another time he spoke of his childhood, his voice flat. His mother demanded perfection, punishing any mess. His father was worse, a violent man who left scars Daniel hid under long sleeves. Emily pitied him, but kept her distance. The bar grew tense. One night, a young woman choked on a tropical cocktail, gasping and clawing at her throat. Daniel took charge, his calm unnerving. "Must be an allergy," he said, but his smirk sent ice down Emily's spine. The woman recovered, but Emily wondered if Daniel had tampered with the drink. She had no proof, only dread. Weeks later, during a quiet closing shift, Daniel's demeanor cracked. He locked the storage room door behind them, his eyes wild. "People are chaos," he hissed. "They need control." He pulled out a bottle of lighter fluid and a lighter, the medallion dangling from his neck. Emily's heart raced. She spoke softly, urging him to stop, her hand grazing his shoulder. For a moment, his eyes cleared. He dropped the bottle, glass shattering, and Emily grabbed the lighter, leading him outside. The bar's owner suspended Daniel, and Emily never saw him again. But the medallion spiral haunted her dreams, and locals whispered of the shadow of Haven, a force that fed on broken minds. The bar, they said, was built on cursed ground, where order became obsession. Last summer, Sarah, her boyfriend Tom, and their friends Alex and Lily planned a relaxing beach day in Haven's End. They arrived early, claiming a spot near the dunes, and spent the morning swimming and laughing. The beach was alive, but a strange haze hung over the waves, making the horizon blur. As they dried off, a woman approached, her face pale. "Have you seen a boy in a red shirt? His name's Timmy," she said, voice breaking. She called herself Karen. Sarah offered to help, and they split up. She and Tom headed south, scanning the shore. The beach grew desolate, the sand coarse and littered with broken shells. They spotted a man sitting alone, a duffel bag at his side, his stare vacant. "Seen a kid in a red shirt?" Sarah asked. He pointed vaguely toward a cluster of rocks, his voice low. "Over there." They found a weathered wooden shack, its door ajar. Inside, on a filthy mattress, sat Timmy, his red shirt stained. "Your mom's looking for you," Sarah said, but his eyes were distant, almost knowing. As Tom reached for him, the man from the beach appeared, a knife glinting in his hand. "Hand over your wallets, phones, everything," he growled. They complied, fear choking them. Then Timmy moved, too fast, too deliberate, joining the man, who grabbed him and fled into the dunes. Sarah and Tom ran back, searching for Karen, but she was gone. They found Alex and Lily and called the police, who scoured the area but found no trace of Timmy, Karen, or the man. Later, Sarah noticed something in her bag, a medallion, its spiral symbol cold to the touch. She threw it into the sea, but the image lingered. Locals told them Haven's End was cursed, its entity twisting innocence into malice. The police suspected Timmy was trained by criminals, but Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that the shadow of Haven had claimed him. The boy's empty smile haunted her, a reminder that evil could wear a child's face.